Welcome back, team, on the journey to transform culture. I'm Steve, and I'll be your guide. Well, folks, let's delve into something a little deeper today. Deeper, but also important. You know, when I wrote the book, The Journey to Transform Culture, I really had an intentional design on us as individuals, not only organizational culture, but the culture at large. And I could really see through the long lens of how important it is for us to have a vision toward the future. I think we all, especially as we get a little older, we all kind of have a hopeful envision of an ideal future. Now, that isn't to say that we're necessarily in our own lifetime are going to travel across the galaxy and all these sorts of things. But as far as our culture here, right here on good old planet Earth goes, there's so much for us to still accomplish. There's so much division still within the culture of all humanity that as I was going along, what I realized I was doing was unraveling and unscrambling and then addressing as I went. But so the question arises, right? And this is probably a question, especially if you've seen the title of the video channel, if you've seen the title of the channel, The Journey to Transform Culture. The journey to transform culture isn't an arm-twisting, special people only kind of a situation. Pardon me. It isn't about being, a person or a particular people or a particular culture being more special than another culture. It's about really the encompassing of all culture. But yes, in the breakdown of looking at all culture, we're looking at organizational culture. And why is that? We look at many different organizational cultures and we want to improve upon those because all of those play directly into our own livelihood, the harmony that we have or the disharmony that we have in our own lives, and how we can not only cultivate about more harmony in our own life, but also harmony in the lives of others. The easiest way to heal from anything in life is to go help other people, to look outward to heal the inward, and go inward to then heal the outward. And so we're constantly, as human beings, going in and out, self-assess, going out. When we get too caught up on the external, though, when the external becomes, when we overweight the external, we diminish our own, how we view ourselves, whether we consciously are realizing that we do this or not. But when we put so much weight on external factors determining the course and the channels and the direction and the outcomes of our lives, then we allow that to become a daunting factor in our lives, so that we disempower, I guess, or we we remove our ability to have an impact. Really, we remove and we diminish ourselves, and we devalue ourselves, and it could be insidious. It can be gradual over time, because maybe if you're a person on a team working in an organization, it doesn't really matter where you are in any facet of life, but in routine, sometimes what can get lost, there's safety in routine. If I do these things, I get these outcomes. Right. But we can also lose ourselves if we don't try to attach our purpose and our growing purpose, because who you are today isn't who you were, many days ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, and so on. So when you're looking down the road of your life and the road of your culture, depending on, what you're doing in the organization and the culture at large, where do we want to be? Where do you want to get to? What do you want the changes in your own life? How do you want those to reflect in the world around you? Do you see that as an ever escalating, divisive thing? Are you expecting the worst? Are you expecting that there's always going to be trouble? Are we expecting, when we look down the road of our life, though, are we expecting these negative, divisive outcomes to occur? Are we expecting that the worst might occur? Are we expecting that things can't get better? Because if that's our vision, if our vision is that things can't improve, things can't get better, things won't heal, things won't grow, you can't get out of the rut that you're currently in, then you're going to manifest that. You're going to manifest a future that you feel helpless to affect. And the journey to transform culture, the journey that we are all on, even puppies, the journey that we are all on to transform culture is one that says that you can transform yourself. Even if you don't want to change massively aspects of your life, heal relationships, heal those friendships that have maybe fallen off, heal family attachments, family, far and wide, to heal those things. These are some good first steps to transforming ourselves, transforming and bringing more harmony into our life, because you don't want unsettled things. You don't want divisiveness. That being said, we also have to recognize when some people are on a different trajectory, different organizations, even elements of our culture on a different trajectory. Their path of learning is different. Each of our rates and abilities to learn is going to be a little different. We're not going to be perfectly aligned. We have to be okay with that, because if we're not okay with that, we risk dividing ourselves from other people who are on their own journey to kind of realize what their own potential and their own purpose and their own impact and what brings harmony to their own lives. Folks who are still in kind of that superficial codependent behaviors where it's, the same routines to get the dopamine hits so that they can kind of get through life, and they're riding the wave, it's party time. Eventually those waves, of dopamine that stem from whatever codependent things that are driving those, eventually those waves calm, and people are forced to look into the pool of water, look into the mirror, into that now completely calm pool of water, and see the reflection, their own reflection, and ask, well, who am I? Am I just a product of all of the superficial elements of life? Am I just a product of the, all of the dopamine hits and the sugar and the codependent, emotional codependencies and physical codependencies and relational and all these different things, being treated poorly, over giving, being an enabler to some, being enabled, right? So there's so many aspects, but we're not all on the same journey. Each person has to deal with, you've heard it said before, this isn't uncommon language. We all have to be willing to look at our own demons and look what has shaped us, and be able to say, okay, that occurred. What did I learn from that? And move on. Now, pushing that forward, think of how we innovate and how we collaborate and how we unite to then come up with solutions and to create new and amazing things, and how more effective and how fun that can be to then bring more harmony to other people's lives, right? In the things that we do, because we all bring a different gift, a different specialness that helps to transform that, the cultures that we're in, be those organizational or the culture at large. So the journey to transform culture, yes, is the long vision, but it's never ending, right? It is as long as humans roam the planet Earth and who knows beyond, that as long as that continues, we will always be in a transformative state. It's just, what are our priorities as we go? What is the best way, and what is the What is the easiest? When I say easiest, is it, let's look at the easiest way. The easiest way is to own what doesn't work, make corrections, just like course corrections on a journey, right? It is a journey. The journey to transform is making series of course corrections as you go, integrating those into your life and understanding that, yep, got to course correct. It might be you go a day, a two, a week, a month. Oh, we got to make a course correction here. I don't want to, get off in the weeds over there. It's okay to make course corrections, but we can't put our blinders on and run blind through a field, where there's thistle and thistle thorns and barbed wire. We can't be careless, because if we are careless, what happens is we get so far off path that now we become not only a detriment to ourselves, but we start hurting other people in their lives. And our willingness to do so may increase the further off track we get with our own purpose. So the journey to transform culture and pushing that into the organizational side of the house is to say, these are areas where we come together and form as teams, where we get to work on being our best human, really. Organizations are daily, weekly, monthly, depending on how you work and where you are in that chain. But it really is a bit of a practice, right? It's a practice at contributing, collaborating, uniting, and also assessing what is not uniting us, what is dividing us, and how can I get better at being a better collaborator and a builder, right? A bridge builder, not one who blows bridges up, uh, relationally, whether that be personal or professional. So just wanted to touch base a little bit on the importance of the journey to transform culture. It is much, a personal journey as it is a collaborative journey of all of us together. Small groups, large groups, teams, organizations, and then our groupings as we emanate outward from there. And then we all have to understand that divisiveness between groups is not healthy. It is not healthy for our own personal health, and it's not healthy for all of us as people. It really does hurt. So this is why I come back to the anchor point, which I've discussed before briefly and off and on in different videos, and it's in the book. But your purpose really is to protect love. If you, in living, even in your basic interactions to complex interactions, your collaborations, your working with others, is what I'm doing, is it protecting love? Not only for myself, right? But is it also protecting others? Right? And these could be how I speak, really the thoughts that I have. And are my thoughts one of frustration toward other people? When we have these situations, we need to dig into the why. Why am I feeling this way? What is my driver? Go into the 5 whys. Why? And then keep asking why until you get to the core. And don't be afraid to look at that, your reflection. Because, we're all human beings. We've all made mistakes. Mistakes are recoverable. But we have to be willing to address them and look at them head on before we build, right? Before we build strong foundations. We have to be able to level that, that site within us, so we can start to build stronger foundations and then to build the future that we want, not only as individuals, bring harmony into our lives, find more joy in our lives, but also for others. And it's a wonderful journey, but remembering, I should say, to protect love on that path will help you. It will keep things simple, because in making these course corrections, we could overanalyze and really put a lot of pressure on ourselves and feel bad. Let that go. I want to protect love within myself, and in that protect love in others. How do I do that? what am I doing, saying, what am I thinking, what am I saying, what am I doing that is affecting other people? And is that a good thing? Is it bringing more harmony, or is it divisive? Is it provoking? Is it frustrating? Right? So we have to kind of worm into this and ask the five whys and get a little deeper into the core issues, address those, and you can work on yourself to yourself. But when you get into your organizations and the broader culture, you can actually choose to become who you want. That's going to be more of a uniting force within our culture. And that's really the point, is to be better uniters, better bridge builders, healers, right? Because when we do that, we're healing, and we are protecting love when we're doing all of these things. Just wanted to touch base on the journey to transform culture, kind of some of the core elements within that, how individually and as groups we interact, and how we can see ourselves and empower ourselves, and so that you'll have more harmony in your life and more cooperation, and really get into greater ability to collaborate and innovate on a much greater scale. All right, folks, hope you're having a wonderful day. Remember to hit the good domino 3 to 5 times a day to help uplift, inspire, and motivate others. Just help them out. Help folks out. When you do that, not only you're transforming other people's lives, but you're transforming your own life. And that's really a fantastic thing. So hit like, share, and subscribe. We look forward to talking to you next time. Take care. Have a great day.